Hello and welcome, everybody, to another episode of Touhou Project Shinto and History and Mythology with Moo the Slime and Dr. Nyri A. Bakkalian. Today we're going to be looking at Subterranean Animism, and if you would like to introduce yourself, Doctor.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again and to see you all in the chat this evening. I am, of course, Dr. Nyri A. Bakkalian. My doctorate is in Japanese history. I stream at Riverside Wings here on Twitch, where we do variety streaming and talking about life, but also commentating on Japanese history and culture in the video games and other media that you consume. I am very happy to be able to, thanks to the wonderful Moo Slime, finally be able to engage with the Touhou series, because I am a doll whose chassis has been some 4 decades in operation, and these sorts of bullet hell games are a little bit difficult for me to handle.
They're difficult for everyone, that's for sure. There's definitely tricks and tips you can end up working out that makes it easier, a lot of which relate to 99% of bullets are going to be visual noise that can be ignored, and your focus should always be laser pointed onto your character itself. Stuff like that.
Interesting.
There's a whole bunch of bullets that go upward, and you don't need to care about those.
Huh. That's a good point, I suppose. Thank you.
Nice little tip. In any case, though, just like last time, Nyri is going to be responsible for discussing the yokai, the mythology, the history, and all that sort of stuff, whereas I am going to be responsible for discussing the actual game design aspects present within Subterranean Animism. Out of the Touhou series, I think this is one of my favorites. Of all of the traditional based games, I think this is number one in my favorites. But that does come with a couple caveats. One, I really recommend you play easy mode, because two, this game is really, really hard. This game is just straight up brutal. And as per last time, we need to clear the game on normal difficulty on 1 credit in order to get a good ending. So, like last time, I am going to make an honest attempt at this, and I have been practicing, but it's still kind of up in the air whether I will manage it. And then after we do that, I will be taking a look at the extra stage, of which there is absolutely zero hope of me clearing. I hope to at least show one attack pattern from the extra stage boss, but from my practice attempts, even that is looking a bit sketchy. In any case, though, this game does a huge amount of really fascinating and esoteric mechanics, so I will have quite a lot to talk about, and there's a lot of fascinating things to see. But that will be, of course, juggled between me trying to focus on playing a very difficult game. In any case, though, calming my nerves, and let's go swap over to the game scene. And then let's get the game sound set up.
Once again, we have our heroine Hakure Reimu, Tried Maiden.
As with our previous game, Mountain of Faith, the 2 playable characters are Reimu and Marissa. Nyri may be blocking a little bit of the interface for this screen, so you can't see the menu options, but in-game, trust me, the positioning makes sense when we actually get into things. But yes, the core concept behind this game, like the storyline setup, is that it's wintertime in near the Hakure Shrine. The snow is falling, and as luck would have it, a huge geyser bursts forth from the ground, providing a whole bunch of excellent hot water for a nice hot spring in the making. Reimu is ecstatic to both use the natural hot springs that just formed, and also to potentially bring more visitors to the shrine, because once again, Reimu is managing a shrine that's out at the border of Gensokyo and does not get very many visitors due to the yokai presence.
Geothermal energy, one of the great pleasures of Japan in this form.
The problem is there's a bunch of spirits that are also popping out of those. So, at some level of dislike for doing so, Reimu begrudgingly recruits a friend and sends underground to see what's causing the spirits to show up, and hopefully to keep the geyser, but prevent the overwhelming flood of ghosts and spirits and yokai from coming up. So, before we even start, we've already got some yokai stuff to talk about. 4 difficulty levels. Fairy class. A difficulty level that makes you doze off if you play it when you're sleepy. Keep practicing so people don't make fun of you.
Okay.
Kappa class. A difficulty level that's very human-friendly. If you mess up, though, you'll get that taken away from you.
Thing that Kappa tend to take away, I imagine?
I figure that is the joke here, yes. If you want to elaborate on that, I think it's probably
Kappa
okay.
Kappa, how to put this in a Twitch-friendly manner? Kappa are known to steal the Shirikodama from people, from humans. And Shiriko is asshole, and Dama is balls.
They reach over and steal your soul through there, correct? Something like that?
Basically,
yes, your soul.
Tama puns also on Tamashi, the spirit. So yeah, you could more broadly, yes, they steal your soul through your butt, as they tend to do.
That's Kappa. Tengu class, a difficulty level that takes you seriously. You'll need to work hard to read the patterns.
Tengu, noted winged assholes of Mount Kurama, just northeast of Kyoto.
Kishin class. This difficulty level is a joke. Feel free to play it while drinking.
Kishin is written in 2 characters, Oni and Kami. You might think of it as demon god.
So, as mentioned before, in order to get the good ending of this game, which I hope to achieve in the stream, but is definitely in the air.
_Zoe_Blackheart just subscribed for 10 months.
Welcome back to FZoe Blackheart, my moderator. We will be playing on normal difficulty, as mentioned, and so the first decision for any of these games, of course, is what character and what weapon you use. Like last time, we have Shrine Maiden of Paradise, Reimu Hakurei. A Shrine Maiden well-liked by yokai. She may not be too enthusiastic about all this, but her yokai partner certainly is. Ordinary Magician Marisa Kirisame. A human who's well-liked by weird people. Booze and a hot bath is all it takes to get her excited. And so that's why she's invested in this. There is one weapon I can clear normal difficulty with. Because this game kind of goes over heavy on gimmicky stuff. We can pick... Reimu Hakurei is going to be the one that descends into the caverns, but we will have one person on radio, so to speak, that will be able to communicate with us, who's our home base and talking to us. And depending on which partner we pick, we get different abilities. And all of these are very, very gimmicky, but Yukari Yakumo, a super extra stage boss from a previous game, is maybe the most normal out of them, and therefore the easiest to use. Your hitbox, except for grazing, vanishes for a period of time when you use a bomb, so just immortality, and then all bullets are deleted. And your orbiting abilities, your power, can wrap around the side of the screen to the other, In addition, if you're not firing, you can double tap the arrow key to yourself wrap around the screen. This one we will be going with. Here we go.
I note the presence of Ibuki Suika in there. Ibuki Suika is this game's take on noted Oni tyrant Shitendoji. Once the purported ruler of Mount Oe, who was famously attacked and beheaded by the Heian-era samurai Minamoto no Daiko in his...
You saw nothing.
In his...
You saw nothing. This applies to both
Okay.
you and the chat.
Okay. But yes, it's just Ibuki Suika. Ibuki Suika is this game's take on Shitendoji, Tyrant of Mount Oe. Only Suika is actually, from what I understand, Suika is actually much nicer than Shitendoji.
I mean, she is one of our allies for this. Suika
Well, there you go.
Ibuki previously appeared. All of your allies in this game are bosses from previous games. In fact, if you play as Marissa, you can actually have Nitori Kawashiro, the Kappa, as your ally, who is in the previous game that we highlighted here.
That's right. That's right. With the very kappa name of Kawashiro.
Yep. I, of course, can't look at chat right now, but how's the audio balance, everyone? I tried to adjust the game volume to be decent. Mechanics-wise, we've got the item get borderline from before, but also on the lower left you can see a signal meter. That signal meter increases when you approach the top of the screen, and at max signal, you will attract all items, so the item get borderline functions the same way as a result. But if you graze a bunch, which grazing is getting near to a bullet without it hitting your actual hitbox, you will also increase that meter, which means that you can pull items in to yourself if you graze a bunch, even from the bottom of the screen. In addition...
Am I a bit quiet?
Nyri is a bit quiet. Understood.
There's a comment that I am a bit quiet.
There we go. That should help.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. But yes, if you graze enough bullets, the meter will max out and you'll attract all power-ups and items. In addition, the point value has a multiplier attached to it, depending on what signal level you are. If you are at minimal signal, then points are almost worthless. Why did I have to come down to such a soaking wet place? Reimu, can you hear me? Huh? And now I'm hearing things. Yukari, I made it so we can talk through your yin-yang orbs, so I can make sure you don't slack off. As if. First of all, you sent me into this cave, which is no place to loaf around. Oh? A human. How unusual. Did you come to play underground? They're having a big feast down there now. The bright net in the cave. Yamame Kurodani.
Okay, pause. This is another example of a very punny name.
You know who she is already?
Kurodani is Black Valley, and Yamame, given prior track record in this series, I'm imagining is written Mountain Girl. So I'm guessing that either a Jorogumo or a Tsuchigumo or some other kind of spider yokai.
You would be exactly correct. One thing I really like about this game, and why I use it as an introduction to the series for people, is easy mode exists, so, it's not so horrid. It's just, I'm trying to aim for the good ending. But every single boss and every single level has something really unique going for it. A whole lot of thought was put into how to make the people attack like the person they are. You can see personality through their fighting patterns. And so, these patterns will make you think of spiders. Reimu. That's an enemy, Reimu. Defeat her. Is it really? Oh, what a warm welcome. I don't really know if she's an enemy or not, but I guess the usual thing would be to beat her. Hey, you, self-talking human. You're looking for the power of the yokai who got banished down here, right? So once again, bosses will do a generalized pattern of a somewhat easy, relatively speaking, pattern, and then a more complicated spell card pattern. Trap Sign, Capture Web, it says in the upper right corner there. And that means a spell card, if we get through it without bombing or losing a life, we get a point bonus. I will need Nyri to read out the spell card names, because I most certainly will not be able to.
Miasma sign filled miasma.
Easy enough. Do I talk to myself that much? Are you getting tired? Of course I'm getting tired. It's not like I want to be down here anyway. Spider warning.
Spiders in Japanese folklore are very complicated history. You know, as with quite a few yokai, you know, not anything to be trifled with.
The deep road connecting the past and surface. Stage 2, Deep Road to Hell. As with Mountain of Faith, actually, even meaner than Mountain of Faith is, this game has the same sort of system where if you use a bomb, it takes away 1 power. But Mountain of Faith, notice how the music changed when she arrives, reaching a climax.
Jealousy sign, green-eyed monster.
But this game is actually meaner in that regard, in that Mountain of Faith allows you to have 5 power, which, while only giving you weapon upgrades for the first 4, which means that as long as you are at max power, you essentially have a bomb in reserve that you can use for free. Not so here, where you have 4 max power and you can only hold, and your weapon upgrades for each power upgrade. So it is easy to get into a death spiral if you bomb, because then you will be weaker, and then you will need to bomb again because you're weaker. Hey, look, I actually took advantage of that. That's the unique ability for this particular weapon. I can pass through walls. Oh, just how far does this hole go? You're almost there.
That's what she said.
Yukari, you should reach the former capital soon. Oh, are you a human? What does a human want in the former capital? Former capital? The jealousy beneath the earth's crust, Parse Mizuhashi. Are you coming to look for our cursed power?
Take this love.
Tality Havoc gifted 1 subscription.
Ah, thank you, Lady Havoc.
Thank you. Reimu, all the yokai underground have fearsome, detestable powers. Just beat her while you're passing by her. I can never tell what you're going to say next. I just wanted to relax at some hot springs. I think you've tricked me, Yukari. I'm not tricking anyone. I'm jealous of the light above ground. I'm jealous of the gentle breezes. I don't have anything against you, but I can make up lots of reasons to attack you.
I wonder.
Mizuhashi Parse's attack patterns are centered around green, jealousy, beauty, and...
Grandpa Hanasaka, jealous of the kind and lovely. This is a reference to the folktale Hanasaka Jiji.
Should I pause?
I don't know. I'm not entirely clear on what relevance it has to what you're doing, though, is the thing.
Sure.
Tongue Cut Sparrow, Hate for the Humble and Rich. Again, a reference to a noted folktale of the Shitakiri Suzume.
If you shoot at her clone, it actually counterattacks with big bullets.
Huh.
So she splits in 2, which is an interesting, unique mechanic.
Just cheered 100 bits.
Shrine Visit in the Dead of Night, Malice Sign. Shrine Visit in the Dead of Night, one of the tools at the disposal of people who do magic in the Shinto and adjacent traditions.
I will say, considering the nature of the stream, I would like minimal use of the see how they shrine
Lamp just cheered
gimmick.
100 bits.
See how
Like, thank you very much, but also, if there's going to be talking over the stream, it's going to distract us. What was her problem? She's a yokai of jealousy, binding the world of the living to the world of the dead through her regrets. The world of the living and the world of the dead? Aren't there too many people who can go back and forth between the two? Reapers, ghosts, and... That's because it said that human death is attractive to yokai.
Yeah, it's actual fucking black magic to go to a shrine at night. Well, to use a shrine visit at night to make an entreaty in pursuit thereof.
I'll also note, try to keep language somewhat PG. The snowy, forgotten former capital. The streets of a former hell. It's a rule I have for my chat, and it seems appropriate to also use it here. PG games get PG chat, PG conversations. Language, that's the word. Once again, very cool boss gimmick coming up.
Former capital, I'm wondering if we're going to Nara.
Former capital of hell, actually.
Ah, former capital of hell.
Hell's former capital, yes. We are descending deeper and deeper underground. Hey, you're pretty good. Don't know who you are, but they say a rowdy welcome is best for a rowdy guest.
Oni signed anomalies, strength, disorder, and spirits. Oshiguma Yugi. If I'm not mistaken, that's supposed to be this game's take on Hoshikuma Doji, the right-hand Oni of Shitendoji, Demon Tyrant of Mount Oi.
Thank you very much, BTA Lady Havoc. And yes, donating bits is fine, but let's not do the 100 spam. Thank you. I like you. We'll have lots more fun, so keep following until you can't take anymore. But I don't want to go drinking with you. So, once again, a unique gimmick. She won't get out of your way.
Sounds about right for an Oni.
F_Zoe_Blackheart gifted 1 subscriptions to the community.
Your generosity is deeply appreciated. Thank you. Jeez, quit wandering around in front of me. You're in the way. Oh, you're so cold. And people from above almost never come down here. Reimu, why don't we listen to what she has to say? I don't even know what we're down here for. You're after something, right, Yukari? Just whose tale are you after anyway? The spoken of unexplainable phenomenon, Yugi Hoshiguma. I don't know. Oh, are you lost? How did you wander all the way down here? Did you wander into some hole that opened up? Whatever, I was forced to come down here. I promised not to let any yokai from above down here. And then you all built a great city underground. But in return, I believe you promised to make sure the evil spirits underground would remain pacified. Yeah, we have a deal like that. But who are you if you know about that? And yet the evil spirits started pouring out when that geyser erupted. That's not what you promised, is it? Huh? They're pouring out? The evil spirits? Well, I can't think of many people who've left the former capital to go above ground. I only know of one, but she's got nothing to do with this, I'm sure. Can you remember any other times? Let's see. The geyser probably means it's the Palace of the Earth Spirits. Stop laying the conversation by yourself. What's the Palace of the Earth Spirits? Can we go there? You came here because the yokai and that jewel, orb, told you to, right? Yep, you got it right on. The Palace of the Earth Spirits is a building right in the middle of what used to be hell here. A bunch of stuck-up folks live there. I guess we should go there then. Oh, I think it'll be a while before we can set out, as long as she's there anyway. And yokai and the jewel knows what's going on. Because we Oni always want to compare our strength to that of strong people that we meet. So, many of these bullet patterns, once again, are going to relate to how the boss is, their personality, and their fighting style. So, get ready to see several strength-related bullet patterns. Mysterious Ring, Hell's Wheel of Pain. This one you gotta be careful, because if you damage too much, those will actually create orbs there that will eventually chase after you. Still there, Nyri?
Yes.
Okay, just checking, sorry. Let's see what else to cover.
Well, I wonder if it's not a circle? Like a circle of hell? Feat of strength, storm on Mount Oe. There we go. Mount Oe, home of the tyrant, the drunk.
And also, look at this pattern. Very snowstorm-esque.
Yes.
The tenacity to be able to survive a snowstorm. Fitting in with the theme of strength.
Wheels also notable in Buddhism, yes. And this is Buddhist hell, presumably. Big for Arcanum, knockout in 3 steps.
I love this pattern. It's so cool. Very intimidating, very strong looking. Just 1, 2, charge up and screen shake, 3. Well done! If you're that powerful, you'll have no problems at the Palace of the Earth Spirits. What? You're an Oni? Yeah? We cast aside the above-ground world and moved here. Long ago, this was Hell's shopping district, and now the Yamas have made off with Hell, so... Now it's just a forgotten prison for evil spirits. Well, that's an old story. I'm sure humans don't remember anymore. I wouldn't have thought you Oni would break their promise. Now take her to the Palace of the Earth Spirits. Yukari, you're not hiding something, are you? Oh, the tea at the shrine wasn't very good. Don't drink it all while I'm gone. I'm doing very good. I am relieved. Meow. Always meow for the cat arriving. Those terrifying eyes nobody loves, the Palace of the Earth Spirits. This appears to be a two-tailed cat jumping around in front of us.
Is that crow in the background?
Oh, and the stained glass. Yeah, I don't think I've ever noticed that. A bird or crow, something like that.
Because there's a bird in Japanese folklore that one often sees depicted with wings raised like that, and it's the Yatagarasu of Kumano Shrine. Yeah, that's definitely a Nekomata.
Saying with a knowing smile, interesting.
Definitely a Nekomata with the 2 tails. Funny running into that.
I think that is the most persistent mid-boss the series has ever had, by the way.
Conley Basher is specifically at Kumano Shrine. The iconography is with wings up.
Take this love.
GC the Gray Area gifted 5 subscriptions to the community.
Your generosity is... Thank you all so much. Thank you all truly. Your support allows me to continue doing stuff like this, and
Thank you, Diablo3, for following.
and it's rare for me to do educational streams like this, but I'm always happy to get the chance to. I'm doing fantastic.
Tomash!
Hey, Tomash. I knew he took that Oni at her word and came to this huge mansion, but I don't see anyone who looks like they'd be in charge. There was that cat, though. We should have had that cat take us to its master.
Conley Asher just subscribed for 12 months.
I wish we could have finished off that cat. It might have been attracted to the smell of dead bodies. Visitors? How unusual. I see my pet cat.
Coliflegon just
Must-
subscribed for 8 months.
Must have caused you some trouble. Finally, someone that looks like a yokai. There's a lot I want to ask you. You don't have to tell me that. A strange geyser near the shrine? Oh, I think that would be fine too. You're thirsty? Why don't I put on some tea? Huh? What are you talking to yourself about? I've been hot for some reason for a while, so yes, I'm thirsty. But if you're talking about making tea, are you a servant or what? The girl even the vengeful spirit sphere, Satori Komeji. Oh, excuse me, I'm Satori, the master of the Palace of Earth Spirits. There's nothing that is hidden from me. That is because I can hear everything you're thinking. What? I guess we don't need to talk then. Some tea would be nice. Right away, please. Reimu, I told you before, didn't I? You should beat any yokai you encounter underground right away. Oh, well, I still don't know anything about the evil spirits. Who are you talking to? I see a yokai that's above ground. I knew it. Above ground is too far away, so I can't read her mind. I wonder if you're the one who could stop that dreadful geyser. A geyser? A geyser. I wonder if one of my pets did something they shouldn't have again. Pet? Oh, like that cat? But it seems the human thinks it's fine if the geyser stays. Reimu, you should remember you are a yokai exterminator. I guess. Yes, she's thinking. Being down here is a pain, so I'll just beat everyone and go home. Exactly. We really don't need to talk, do we? The geyser was probably caused by one of my pets, or one of the spirits in the mansion. I don't mind looking into it, but you don't seem to be of mind to settle this peacefully. Of course not. Who would take a yokai at their word? But you trusted that Oni, and you're relying on the yokai from above. I know everything you remember about that yokai, too. Now arm your heart and do battle against your own feelings. Anything to say about Satori's?
Satori is the Japanese word for enlightenment. So, very Buddhist. Recollection? Terrible souvenir.
In addition, isn't a Satori a type of yokai as well? A mind-reading one?
Not that I'm aware.
Once again, very cool gimmick coming up. Unfortunately, this gimmick is somewhat lost with playing these games out of order. This gimmick is for the fans of the series. Now this is where it really begins. Go and sleep with a trauma memory of fear that will wake you up. My partner here, Yukari Yakumo, this is her pattern.
Double Black Death Butterfly.
She is stealing patterns from Reimu's memory to use against her. Flying insect's nest. And yes, this means that she does have unique patterns for every difficulty and every character option.
Well, earlier we had a throwaway line about the Yamas taking everything and going somewhere else. Yama is the Sanskrit name that in Japanese is Enma, the name of the king of hell.
This is Yukari's final attack pattern from her appearance. Oh my. Well, you did manage to come this deep underground. Those Danmaku look awfully familiar. As a reminder, Danmaku is a term that means bullet curtain and refers generally to bullet patterns like this. Because, you know, it's a big curtain full of bullets that are coming at you. Of course, they're Danmaku that stood out in your mind. I just imitated them. In any case, why don't you go tell Reimu about what's on your mind now? How to stop the geyser, was it? You should talk to my pet then. You mean that cat? I think we met before. The cat isn't that powerful. I have lots of pets here. In the courtyard of this mansion, there's a hole that leads to the deepest part of the underground. She should be there. Huh? If she's your pet, why not just call her? My pet has been avoiding me lately. I wonder if it's because of my power. I don't think anyone likes her, not just her pets. Nobody would get to finish their sentences.
That would explain Conley Basher why I've never heard of them, because I'm not an expert of specifically of Gifu Prefecture. That's probably a hyper-local yokai, of which there are many in Japan. I am glad that you brought this to my attention. Thank you. So Gifu Prefecture, former Owari Province, parts of Mino. Just as in the north, in Michinoku, where I lived and where I specialize, there are likewise hyper-local yokai, like Namahage.
Yay!
I wonder if Namahage have ever been in the Touhou series.
Those are the ones that wear, like, straw and live in the cold mountains, right?
Yeah, they're the frost giants. If you can picture the frost giants from the Old Norse heathenism, you know, the Jotun, Namahage only superficially look like Oni. They're like usually taller than Oni. They wear straw overcoats, live in the snowy mountains, and they want to know that you've been good, and usually while drinking all of your sake and eating all of your snacks.
Mary Lloyd-esque.
Basically, yeah. Or Krampus, in original form. Yeah.
Cat sign.
Cat sign, cat's walk. Ah,
Look at that cute
I'm
hop.
glad to see such Nekomata representation. This appeals to me.
Like I mentioned, that is, I think, in the entire history of the Touhou series, the most persistent of all bosses. Persistence being number of appearances in separate, like number of arrivals and disappearances and arrivals again.
Let me also take a moment to say, just to underline, you know, the importance of the Black Sand. Oh, hey, thank you. I'll have to remember that. So let me just take a moment here to underline the importance of this understanding of, like, just as with Satori being something I had never heard of before, but it's from Gifu. We have in the West an understanding of Japanese folklore that usually comes from the work of people like Lafcadio Hearn, or there was a folklorist, Yanagita Kunio, who compiled the Legends of Tono, Mizuki Shigeru, who compiled Gegege no Kitaro, who was drawing particularly from Western Japan in his home region of I think it was Shimane. The vast diversity of, even like within a certain archetype, right? The vast diversity of, you know, different regions will have a different kind of Nekomata, or they'll have variations on a Kitsune. There's some places that have like Kaibyo, cat yokai, that will sometimes appear as burning wheels. You know, that Japan, you know,
Interesting.
there is no one size fits all image of like a set of archetypal characters. Like it varies a lot. So, but yes, the burning wheel yokai as a variation on the Nekomata, that is on the Kaibyo more broadly, as a subset of that is a thing. You know, there's yokai that one might say only see in, you know, in one corner of a region and nowhere else. The land of a cucumber to the Capastran. How very nice of you. Yes, Tono is a community in Iwate Prefecture. Yes, and yet the Yako and the Zenko and the Nogitsune and the Kitsune and so many other kinds. You know, So while we're enjoying something like this, we also have to understand that there is a lot of local variation. And I have been from my former academic colleagues, subjected to a great deal of harassment about, well, nobody cares about the local variation, but they do though. That's where all the fun stuff is. That's where all the really ridiculous local variation is. I mean, there are even things that like usually get listed in lists of yokai, but are actually like things that will yokai adjacent things that will happen to humans under certain circumstances. Like I'm thinking particularly of this one in Aomori Prefecture called Nebutori, where it's this. Yes, 80 million is just a shorthand for a hell of a lot. It's like saying 11 billion.
Yes,
Yes,
that specific
but
terminology. Yep.
I'm thinking of Nebutori in Aomori Prefecture, what's now Aomori Prefecture, which I've seen in a like I think it was an Edo period roster of yokai, and it's not actually a yokai. It's just because of conditions that would otherwise generate a yokai, a woman wakes up significantly more heavy than she went to bed. There will be people who will become, who will be suddenly be embodying fox spirits. There will be places where you will have uh particular kind of yokai that comes that emerges from a lamp or from a musical instrument. Like this is like however many you encounter in your travels and in your reading and in your consuming of media, remember there's probably that many more that you haven't run into yet. And the fun is getting to dig into those specifics because they get really varied. So all of that, I think, I hope, that you will take heart and take it as an exhortation to do some exploring on your own. Because there's all kinds of stuff available out there now in English even. So, thank you for hitting pause, by the way.
Of course. Touhou Project is also as evidently proven through this stream itself, Touhou Project can also be a nice intro point to discovering more localized yokai, because I had heard of Satori. I knew about Satori because of this game, but you did not, which surprised me. So
yeah,
there we go.
Yeah,
new yokai learned about. Hyperlocal.
New yokai learned about. Exactly. Thank you, Touhou.
Okay. I'm a broken record in this, but it really is true. Very unique boss coming up. Fighting style and unique game mechanics implemented exclusively for this boss, stuff like that. And then while I'm here, you'll notice my player count. I have a whole bunch of stars. In this game, you get extra lives in fragments. Collect 5-star fragments in order to get an extra life, and every time you clear a boss pattern or kill a particularly strong fairy, you will get a fragment. So this game hands out extra lives like candy to make up for the fact that this game is really hard. And returning. Oh, it's so hot. I wish I hadn't worn winter clothes. Those are winter clothes? I wouldn't have imagined such a hellish place would be under the courtyard.
I heard that meow.
A cat? I think that cat's been following me from the palace. How creepy. You've got any cat powder? Ta-da! Looks like you're having fun, sis. Mind if I join you? Ah, the cat turned into a cat. You mean the cat turned into a cat wheelbarrow? Hell's traffic accident, Orin. It's more fun being a cat. It's more fun being a cat, but I can't really talk like that. Besides, it looked like I was gonna lose to you, so I had to change back. Are you the pet Satori was talking about? I think she said it wasn't the cat. I was watching and listening to my master's gallantry and to your plot. You want to stop the geyser? You better not. She's really dangerous, you know? She's the most dangerous bird underground. There's no way we can turn back now, even if you're a dangerous cat. I wonder where our cat went off to. Such a pain when she just suddenly disappears like that. Yukari also has a pet yokai cat. I wish she'd take care to program her own Shikigami properly, without any bugs.
Boy.
Well, if you're gonna
Here
go...
we are.
Hmm?
Shikigami, for those unfamiliar, are the I guess the term would in Western magic would be puppet. It's sort of a familiar type creature that you conjure in order to assist in your ritual magic tasks.
Yukari's use of the word programming there is fascinating. Yukari is someone who has control over borders, and so is actually one of the very few people able to leave and re-enter Gensokyo at will. So she is fully up to date on the modern world.
A Shikigami who's actually or you were talking about Yukari in particular?
Yes. Yukari can control over borders.
So this is something that is a sort of a big picture issue in Shinto, is this points of delineation between the sacred and the mundane world. So Torii Gateway is a famous example of an interface between the two. You also will put a sacred rope, a shimenawa, the rope with the paper zigzags. You will use that sometimes to delineate a boundary between sacred and mundane. So if a yokai is having control over that, that is a very powerful yokai.
Yukari is probably one of the most powerful beings in Gensokyo. In addition, she has a Shikigami named Ran Yakumo. Ran Yakumo is a powerful enough Shikigami to have a Shikigami called Chen Yakumo, which is the cat that she was talking about. So it is the puppet of a puppet. Back to the actual game, as it relates to us. Well, if you're gonna go against that dangerous bird, you gotta fight me first. Perfect, I think we already fought you a few times as cat, though. If I kill you, human, my hellfire cart will get heavy. And carrying off corpses is fun. So, summoned a bunch of fairies, a few of them got in the way and instantly died. But you can see they're still there. Now all of them died. Cursed Sprite, Zombie Fairy. She's a necromancer. Nekomata Necromancer. Hard to say.
I mean, some people have called me that.
Reminder of spell card reading.
Malicious Spirit, Spleen Eater.
Oh, goodness gracious.
This is also a thing. Nyankromancer, yes. Yes, I have, I think, sometimes been called a Nekomata Necromancer, because after all, a historian is like someone who's part anthropologist and part necromancer.
I like how if you bomb at the right moment, she'll just, like, stare at you because she summons bullets so infrequently with that pattern. So if you bomb at the right timing, it's just, she'll look at you and just stare at you as you shoot at her. Like, how dare you? Please, come on. I hate being low power.
Atonement, Needle Mountain of the Former Hell. Oh, Harino Yama. That's one of the ones I often find myself invoking. That's the mountain of, well, they're translating it as needle here, but it's sort of the, in Buddhist hell, it's the mountain of blades, the mountain of knives. You know, the souls of the damned condemned to climb the pointy mountain. Rekindling of dead ashes.
This pattern you just need is all about acceptance, in that you need to accept that you need to orbit the boss and spend a whole lot of time not actually shooting at her. It's the only way you'll live through this. You need to spend a lot of time just, like, above her and waiting for the fairies to follow you. You need to have the self-power to make this pattern last 3 times as long as it potentially could. It's the only way to do it safely. That said,
Yes, sir.
I'm running out of time. Almost timed out that pattern. Good job! Wouldn't have thought I'd lose to a human. Oh, it's so hot I can't stand it. I just want to be done with it. Hey sis, I bet you can beat her for me. I'll be waiting for you. What a weird feeling. Looks like there's only one road up ahead. All we can do is go forward. I wonder what the pet down that road will be like. She's one of Lady Satori's pets, just like me, but she got really powerful lately. It's like she can do anything. So nobody can really take care of her. We animals get really powerful when we live long, and we can get powerful by swallowing up monsters and evil spirits. But I wonder where she found it. Hard to believe she swallowed up the power of the gods. Did you hear that? Yeah. I wonder if it's okay to eat gods like that. That's a lot of crows. Are ravens?
That's to a second son. Oh, funny thing, a second son and lots of crows.
The mid-boss here actually does something very cool too, in that the dialogue is going to go by fairly quickly, and that is because World Wrap, it does musical synchronization coming up here. So be on the lookout for that. And I'll have to read pretty quickly too. Ooh, that was close. Oh yeah, I forgot something. If you die at the bottom of hell, you'll burn so hard there won't even be ashes left. If I want your corpse, I better take you down here.
Yokai, blazing wheel. Ah, there we go. There we go.
Notice the music synchronization with this pattern. It is so intimidating.
If you die in hell, you die in real life. It really is Buddhist, yes, yes.
Hey, stop stealing Yukari's final attack pattern. Hey, I said stop it. And, as always, incredible gimmick coming up. Can't take it anymore. I'm gonna be burned to death before we ever find that bird. I'm turning into fried shrine maiden here. Don't worry, I'm sure we're about to find her. I have no idea what makes you say that, but I think you're right. I finally found you. You're the weird person from above everyone's been talking about, right? I heard you were coming to find me, but I couldn't find you anywhere. Speak of the devil, eh? Guess my intuition is as good as ever. You're trying to stop the geyser, right? Right. So I wouldn't mind if the geyser stayed and only the spirits went away. You came all the way down here from above ground, so I hate to tell you this, but the geyser won't stop. It's too late for that. What did you say? The geyser is just a hole to let the excess part of my ultimate power escape. Scorching, troublesome divine flame, Utsuho Ryuji. I've already obtained the ultimate power. Every time I use it, the geyser gushes forth. So I can't stop it. The ultimate power? If a geyser happens every time, does that mean it's the power of a tea kettle? Reimu, you should be able to see it. Which god did that bird eat up? The kind that can draw a hot bath? Who knows? Anyway, we came all this way, so if we just beat her, the geyser should stop. I guess it comes to that after all. Once I beat you, I'm going to go above ground to test out this power of mine. That pathetic place will be reborn as a new blazing hell. It's a good thing you ran into me before you went up there. You'll be beaten by the power of the ultimate shrine maiden, which will stop your invasion plans. Lord Yatagarasu, the Black Sun, Thank you for giving me your
Force.
power. The sunlight that rains down on the Earth is a nuclear furnace that will create new atoms. My ultimate nuclear fusion will burn up every body, mind, phantom, and fairy.
Of course. So this is Yatagarasu?
This is a pet bird that has eaten something that has given it the power of the sun. A to God.
Wow. It's a...
Caution, caution, caution.
Oh no! Oh, this is delightful. This is delightful. Alright, so...
Atomic fire, nuclear fusion.
Let's wait until Moo has gotten through this, but because I don't want to, you know, disrupt her attention too much. Like, my God. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that was funny. You got me good. You got me good.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there something you would like to say?
Yes, as a matter of fact. All right. So here's the thing. Yeah, so the image of the association of the crow with the sun, you know, bringer of the sun, pointer to the sun. This is something that extends across a number of both East Asian cultures and broader Pacific Rim cultures. I think the Coast Salish have a story along those lines, but one of her feet encased in concrete is a reference to Chernobyl. Ah, good catch.
If you look at her right foot, yes.
But Yatagarasu in particular is in Japan is a three-legged crow who helped
Take
God,
this
I think it was
Gifted a tier 1
Yamato
subscription to
Takeru.
Bakkalian.
But at any rate, one of the early emperors
Thank you very much.
helped one of the early emperors find a way of taking what's now the Kansai region. And so he tried to attack from the west, and that didn't work. So he thought, well, I'm the descendant of the sun goddess, so why don't I come from the east? So, you know, this crow led the way, took him to, I think, to Kumano, to the shrine that now enshrines Yatagarasu in kami form, and he attacked from the east with the sun at his back, and won the day and established the Yamato court. So, you know, when I saw the ravens and the sun, I said, oh no, are we really gonna go here? Oh no, we really are gonna go here. And of course, the sun. You know, we've got nuclear power. Obviously, you know that makes perfect sense. My goodness, that really, I should have known.
One of those in retrospect, oh yeah, obvious kind of deals.
Yeah, exactly. And I should note also that Yatagarasu is, you know, you may not know them by that name, but if you are a, say, World Cup soccer fan, you might remember the emblem of the Japanese national team with the corvid, with the little soccer ball. The crow has 3 legs. That's Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu appears in quite a bit of, you know, iconography and crest design and all sorts of things. In Korea, there's a similar being who I think is one of the national symbols, although it's been a little bit since I did my reading on that. But yes, at any rate, this is very, like, to a Japanese person playing this who would know any amount of their folklore, this would be an oh of course kind of moment. Moo, this is a delight.
I am glad that to discover that this game also has a lot of folklore stuff around it, because, you know, I'm completely blind to all of this sort of stuff because I don't know any of the lore, so this is educational stream to me as well. But I was a little concerned on this game on if there was going to be enough to talk about. And I think I need to just dismiss that idea entirely. I don't think that's ever going to be
I
a
su-
problem.
I suspect we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Because really, uh, it may sneak up on me like it did this time, but there will be plenty. You know, we had plenty of Buddhism the entire way out. So why is nuclear power part of animism? Well, I mean, you know, apart from the fact that the sun is powered by fusion and Amaterasu Omikami is the oh crap, it's the crows. Um, and Amaterasu Omikami is the kami-sama of the sun. Um, I think a good way of answering that is to, as you and I, Zoe, have talked about on our podcast, Clay Era Conversations on Shinto, is to underline the fact that in the Shinto worldview, the natural and the artificial are both part of great nature. Like a tree and a circuit are both part of Daishizen. So, a forest and a nuclear reactor, you know, a waterfall and a car. Uh, you know, this is all part of great nature, and I actually, and Moo, I apologize. I'm going a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm trying to. I promise I'm tying this together.
Yes, yes.
Um, the uh the other day I wrote the third installment of Riverbed and a Circuit Board. Exactly. The other day I wrote my third installment of my nonfiction series about being altersex. It's called The Combat Doll Diaries, and what that means is that I am a person whose ideal form is other than base model human, and in my case, that is synthetic. And I have had people say, "Well, so your ideal is to be fake?" No, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is A, that we are all of these things, a circuit board and a riverbed are both part of Daishizen, but also, I am saying that when you have things that are the product of artifice, to borrow the phrasing of one of my favorite sci-fi series, you are talking about an object that is lovingly and deliberately created. So we should not, I think, rule out the artificial as being somehow unworthy, because that's part of great nature too. So am I saying you could potentially have a Shinto shrine set up in one of Japan's nuclear plants? Conley Basher, I think the thing to I do not know the specifics of that, but I will tell you this. A common custom in large scale construction, particularly for things that have government contracts, is that there will be a Shinto ground purification ritual, a jichisai, it's called in Japanese. So I would not be surprised if a nuclear plant had a groundbreaking that was part Shinto ritual. Is there an oinari okami-sama kamidana in a nuclear plant? There probably is. And you know, it's not, you know, and not to get too political here, but the problem isn't the nuclear power. The problem is capitalism. You know, and the corners the corner cutting that is tied up in that. So yeah, maybe lay down a keystone for extra protection. Exactly. In the old days, you would have what's called hitobashira, which is a type of arcane ritual where Miko would be buried alive as part of the preparation for building, say, a shrine or a castle or what have you. They become a living no, not no longer living, but they become a human kami, a human pillar that secures that ground. Uh, so yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
That's all about that for now.
Yes. There will be plenty of time to talk about this sort of stuff after I manage to beat this boss, but I am itching to.
You got this.
Yes, I am in a really good state right now in terms of play, extra lives and power. The only thing I will note here is that Utsuho here does have 3 legs. She has one encased in concrete, one that has electrons orbiting around it like an atom, and a control rod arm that reaches down all the way to her feet, which is the representation of the 3rd leg. Back to it. Also, next time that we see the radiation symbol, look at the actual pieces of it that form the background. Or a funny Easter egg.
Explosion sign, mega flare.
Ugh. Better to bomb than not. Better to bomb than not bomb. Just stay below her and be a little bit above the bottom of the screen. This is probably the easiest parry in the entire game.
Blazing star, fixed star.
Well, if I lose at this point, that's extremely, extremely on me. So, I think it's safe to say I have this in the bag at this point. I could probably just spam bombs literally the entire time, and yeah. Here it comes. The biggest bullets Touhou project has ever seen.
My god.
Spell card name.
Hell and Heaven Meltdown.
Try and last so long. Bombing.
It's artificial sun.
The sun's gravitational pull pulls me in. The sun's mass increases as more bullets arrive. The sun flares. Gravity increases. Mass increases. The self-feeding cycle continues, and continues, and continues. Gravity increases. The flaring increases. The size increases. The gravity increases. The flaring increases. The size increases. Until it all melts down. 1 credit clear. That got real sketch at the end, but I did it.
Done.
The Hakure Shrine, a shrine at the eastern edge of Gensokyo. The shrine grounds were completely covered in snow. It had probably piled up while its maiden was underground. Shoveling snow, shoveling more and more snow. I have to open up a walkway. The New Year's soon, so we might even get some visitors. We should get some visitors for New Year's, even with all the snow. The Crow Underground swallowed the powers of a Yatagarasu. We could probably get lots of believers with that kind of power. And I think the god here would like some sort of easily understandable power.
Yes, New Year's is the busy season.
Hey, there's Yukari.
This is true.
There's Yukari traveling through one of her gaps in reality. Holding a two-tailed cat. Hello. What? You're creeping me out. I caught a cat. Meat-eating monsters don't taste good. Oh, don't you remember this cat? Hmm? Oh, is that... Yes, it's the cat you fought in the remains of Blazing Hell. But why? Wait, Yukari, did you go underground? I found her around the geyser. Do you know what that means? No idea. Oh, you're so dense. The geyser erupted because that crow went mad. But whose fault does that make the evil spirits? Was it that cat's? That's right. It's definitely the cat. You're always saying things out of the blue. I don't really get it, but I just have to beat her, right? That's right. By the way, Reimu, how are you going to beat her? She wouldn't be very tasty. See, that's why you don't get any visitors. Why not try keeping her around the shrine to draw in people? If people gather here together, does that count as worshipping If people gather here together, does that count as worshipping a god? The cat Yukari caught by the geyser, Orin, stayed at the shrine where Reimu could also keep an eye on her. Of course, she was still Satori's pet, so it really just meant she got fed when she came to the shrine. Orin had sent the spirits up with the geyser as a warning to the above-ground yokai about her friend, the Hell Crow. Reimu and Yukari understood she meant no harm, so that they didn't punish her. However, shortly after Orin started coming above ground, there were several incidents where people's dead bodies disappeared. So needless to say, rumors spread in the village about the kasha near the shrine. Ending number 1, the Hellcat.
Asha, fire wheel.
And you had mentioned that before of those being associated.
Yes.
Nekomata and Kasha overlapping in some degree.
And Conley Basher says they went to Kamakura for New Year's. A lot of people. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I assume it was Tsurugaoka Hachiman Shrine. Congratulations, all clear, just as I'd expected.
So.
Well done, Moon.
Thank you very much. So, a little bit of a plot detail revealed there is Orin there, the Hellcat, intentionally sent the spirits up alongside the geyser in order to get people's attention. Intentionally caused some trouble in order to get someone to investigate. And so, as a result, Orin's plan was to get people's attention so someone comes down and puts a stop to Utsuho, who ate a Yatagarasu and thus gained the power of nuclear fusion. The persistent one great friend and you. And they all lived happily ever after. Thank you for playing. Next fantasy. Next episode, look forward to the extra stages, Bitter Tears. Good luck. Bitter Tears is going to be the name of the game here. As with last time, this is going to be more of a free-form moment here, as most of the storyline is now complete, so Nyri will have more time to discuss questions that the audience may have. In the meanwhile, Idol class, extra stage, a special difficulty level, play it or don't. You can use any character you've beaten normal extra state, normal 1 credit clear with, but there is also a cheat code that you can input to unlock it for all characters automatically. But because Yukari Yakumo's ability is the most normal of all the weapon types, the other ones are extremely quirky, like I mentioned at the start, I will be using this one, and I will not win this. I'm looking straight at the screen and telling you this. I will not win. I will not win. I hope to give you at least a taste of what this is, because this is the most nightmarish of all the extra stages in any of the games, in my opinion, for the ones I've played. the lovely visitor from hell. Extra stage,
What's it?
the Moria Shrine.
Ah, we're back in the Touhou region.
We are going back to the Moria Shrine, but why? This song rules, by the way. I love it so much. Crazy drum beats in it. Taking advantage of grazes in order to get points and power up is very important in this stage. You absolutely want to get an extra life before you reach the end. Of course, that doesn't matter much when I actually lose a life. Resource management is very, very important for this particular game. Oh, did you come to visit the shrine in this cold weather? I've learned how to do the greetings here. You can't let yourself be held back by common sense and Gensuki, alright? The Return of Sanae. Esoterica, 9-syllable stabs. Still there, nerd?
Yes.
Okay. Just we got spell card names as well.
Divine Virtue, Bumper Crop Rice Shower.
Thank you. Whew. Pretty good. And yeah, feel free to submit questions in chat if you want, folks. This is my victory lap phase of the stream. I'm doing the hardest stuff, but I'm also not taking it too seriously. Where is that idiot anyway? Is it okay to call gods idiots? Well, I guess it is. If what that Hellraven said is true, all the fighting I've been through is Kaneko's doing. Is she trying to take over the underground too? Oh. What a perfect time to find a shrine maiden. Do you know where the god of the shrine went? Huh? I was just looking for them too. Huh? The shrine maiden is looking for its god? That's funny. She must be hiding, right? Who are you? I'm Koichi Komeji, a humble shrine visitor. The closed eyes of love, Koichi Komeji. I came all the way here from the underground, but I can't find the shrine's god. Komeji? I think I've heard that name before. You've heard it in the Palace of the Earth Spirits, remember? You know about the palace? I went there a little bit ago. Hey, are you... the human my big sis was talking about? I've got a bad feeling about this, seriously. My big sis is pretty strong, but she got beaten by a vicious, empty-head shrine maiden. Hey, if you're Satori's younger sister, does that mean you can... read your mind? I've already closed my Satori eye. Reading people's minds only makes you depressed, and there's nothing good about it. Oh, thank goodness. Well, I can't find Kaneko or Suwako, so I think I'll be... Wait a second! I couldn't find the gods of the mountain, but I found a good human. I was looking for the strong person who gave Oku the power of the gods. Another name for Utsuo. But if you beat Oku, that must mean you're even stronger. I definitely want to see the power of the person who even my big sis couldn't defeat. This boss is a nightmare. Go ahead.
So the Parsi Mizuhachi, I'm not entirely sure, but as I say, see, all ancestors standing beside your bed. Oh boy. Things I have actually thought of before. So Parsi Mizuhashi, and Kippers colon 3, I will be very interested to see you stream that. But Parsi Mizuhashi, I don't know what's going on there, but Parsi sounds like Parthian, Persian. There were, in fact, Persians in Japan at the time of the Nara period, so roughly before the middle of the 8th period, when Emperor Kammu famously founded Kyoto, the capital was to the south in Nara. And there were, in fact, Persians in Japan, because there had been Persians who escaped east with the fall of the Sassanid Persian dynasty. The descendants of the Sassanid royal court set up a government in exile in western China, or rather what's now the, I think Uzbekistan or something, and became a client kingdom. So there were, in fact, Persians in Japan in the Nara period when some of the earliest bits of written Japanese emerges. So maybe it's a reference to that. I don't know. But it did get my attention. Yes.
With all my resources.
If there's,
Go ahead.
yeah, there's it's a thing that there is in fact archaeological evidence for.
That was just sad. No, I'll keep going.
Esoterica 9-syllable stabs. Oh, that lattice work pattern that just passed over the screen that you see?
Yeah.
That is the Dolman lattice. That is the rival to the parallel to the pentagram, the Seimei bellflower. This is a seal, and it's also a thing you can do with your hand, like a gesture you can do with your hand. Miracle fruit. Lord of Sendai buying American guns and persons in Japan. You're learning some. I'm glad to be helping you to learn more about Japanese history. This is what I'm here to do. Divine Virtue, bumper crop rice shower. Yeah, and if there were Persians in Japan, as an Armenian, I have to say, there may have been Armenians too. Just saying. I know that by the 16th century, there were apparently so many Persian Armenians whose trade networks extended throughout the Mediterranean and Indian Ocean and South China Sea, so there were so many Armenians in what's now Okinawa that the Portuguese maps apparently labeled Okinawa Isla do Armenios, the island of the Armenians, which I feel very awkward about. Like, no, you don't have to call it that. Oh my god. But we got around too. But we were. But more to the point, as far as the Nara period is concerned, my people were one of the subject peoples of the Sassanid Persian kingdom, and we had merchants that ranged as far as China, and there's evidence of this in the frescoes in the tomb of Empress Wu Zetian. And so, did a few get to Japan, like Nara period Japan? Maybe.
Resources are so scarce in this, you need to do everything perfectly. It's so brutal.
And as for the Lord of Sendai buying American guns, it still delights me that the man whose receipt I saw along that backed that up was somebody from right here in Pennsylvania. Of course, he was one of our less savory citizens of the time. And for once, I am not making a dig on James Buchanan. Eugene M. Van Reed was the merchant in question.
Ooh, all resources. At the cost of 1 bomb.
Frick. Yes, the amusingly named Pittsburgh robber baron Henry Clay Frick, and his whole thing. But no, this is Eugene M. Van Reed. Frick was from Western Pennsylvania. Mr. Van Reed was from Eastern Pennsylvania in Reading. Esoterica, 9-syllable stabs. Once again, with the Dolman lattice.
You only got
Buchanan.
You only got to read it once for the record. Thank you. No, if you want to, go ahead.
That's a joke from Homestar Runner. The Buchanan. Pew pew.
Being unable to look at chat makes that very strange of an experience to hear.
For those unfamiliar, one of my particularly popular podcast episodes, which turned into a lecture that I gave at TECO 2025, was a lecture about the ninja that met President James Buchanan and thought he was a slob. It was a lot of fun getting to talk about ninjas in the White House.
Order of Death Bomb. Okay.
Well, I mean, the man was an ambassador, you see. They let him in. He had perfectly legitimate business. He did not, unfortunately, it seems that he did not, in fact, hide in a gap in the ceiling.
Oh. They at least do the spin around the wall thing? The trick wall?
That's a good question. The etchings, the lithographs and so on of the time are very fascinating because some of them are just straight up just racist depictions, and clearly this person, the artist didn't actually go and see the ambassadors, but some of them are actually remarkably spot on. Trick walls in the White House. Things that maybe didn't exist at the time, but certainly do now.
Here we go again.
Well, Zoe, actually, this is you bring up an interesting point because as someone who did a PhD in Japanese history in the United States, one of the founding figures of Japanese studies in the United States was a man named Edwin O. Reischauer, who was a Navy intelligence guy in the Second World War, and then became a Harvard professor for many, 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 many years, and the U.S. government made him ambassador to Japan for a while. So the influence of government policy and spies on diplomacy, but also on the academic establishment, I think cannot be overstated. Image Danmaku Paranoia.
Don't move. Don't move. Whatever you do, don't move too much. If you move even the slightest amount, you'll get hit. Dodge carefully. Don't move. Oh! I think this is a personal record. Like, across my entire life. I don't think I've ever gotten this far. That was close.
Instinct release of the id. So it really is important to note these these points of influence, because you have to ask yourself, as
Good
far as
God.
the academic establishment is concerned, who is funding this and what scores do they have? Especially in something like history.
But yes, Koishi's attack patterns are very much so fixated on psychology, as Conley had mentioned earlier in the chat. And many of the spell patterns are psychology references. She's an odd fellow, and it's unclear how much of that is because she took the action of sealing her own third eye, or whether that's related at all for her personality. Kind of a fun-loving gal, but rather intimidating. I'm sure someone who knows more about the character can chime in more on what's her deal. Resources. People forget her existence every time she leaves, huh? Oh. Nope. Washed. Streamer washed. Man, I knew this was gonna happen. It cannot be overstated how brutal of an extra stage this is from start to finish. They give you no extra lives apart from the extra life mechanic that already exists, which barely gives you one. You are always running out of resources, because each time you bomb, you're weakening yourself. There exists just enough fairies at the very start here to give you one power, which means if you don't have that, you won't be able to destroy all of these fairies, which will put you further in power debt. Defeating all of those fairies is necessary for getting more power. If you bomb, you sacrifice an entire unit of power, which again weakens you. It's a pretty brutal mechanic, and one that is ditched after this game. Bombs become unlinked from your power after this game. While we're here, I would like to thank you all again so much for your generosity and support of the channel while I'm doing something, let's be real, kind of more on the experimental side here. To do a sort of educational focus stream of a bullet hell and the cultural context that lies within. And thank you as well to Nyri for being my co-host in this and lending your support and expertise. And for being a personal friend, too. You are wonderful, Nyri.
You're wonderful too, Bill. I'm happy to be here. Let's see here. Final boss is actually a massive squid that IRC tries to take over both the yokai and human realm. Well, I mean, there are any number of beings like that I'm vaguely aware of. I can't remember any by name, but they're probably out there. Hmm. Oh. Apparently, there is in fact a
Very first
being of
bullet.
this kind in Ainu folklore. But that's Ainu, and that's not mainland Japanese. The Akor Kamui.
Let's do a little bit of a weapons showcase. So
I would have to look. I would have to go poking around at my different sources to be able to offer a further comment on that. But that's a very good question. Squid deity.
This is Suika Ibuki as the assistant, which, as we mentioned, is relates
yes,
to
based on-
Shutendoji.
Shitendoji, against whom I have a personal axe to grind.
Gimmick here is these bullets are pretty dang weak, and they have a little bit of homing though. But if you let go of every button, you instantly pull in all items, which is very powerful. It allows you to ignore all collection, but keep in mind again the signal system. So those items will be very low value.
There's lots of myths and so on regarding octopuses and squids. I mean, there's a certain early Katsushika Hokusai print I'm not going to name drop here, which involves octopi, and that
Sure does.
That didn't come from nowhere. That was already in the popular imagination, to the point that Hokusai could even entertain the thought of doing anything like that. So absolutely, I can't name any off the top of my head, but I'm sure that they're there. Yes, the second most famous Hokusai print.
The other gimmick with this is the bomb does that. I am immortal even outside of it, but if you look carefully, it actually is creating more of those assist bullets.
Huh.
So it's like a counterattack / riposte system. Moving on to the next. You can also take a quick look at the other. Ayashimemaru. God, I did again.
Shamemaru.
Shamemaru. Goodness gracious. Attacks in both your movement direction and the opposite. But you can keep it in the same location by using the focus mode, which is the... If you're not shooting, you go obscenely fast. And so what they mean by the opposite direction here is this. And then if you start to use focus, you lock them in place. But yeah, going extremely fast, is that particularly useful? Quite a helpful bomb, though. And generates points. This is Kisume. She is Kisume. She has a spell card. Sudebe Otoshi Apparition.
Sudebe Otoshi Apparition.
Even this gives the impression that suits her. Looks like well water pouring down. Or like a bucket spilling. Hello, Frostnova. Meowdy to you too. Alice Margatroyd. She commands dolls, as, once again, all of these characters are previous characters that you've probably fought in previous games.
I'm sorry. Patchouli knowledge?
Patchouli knowledge. That name doesn't even register as weird to me anymore. It's just...
The knowledge of patchouli. The patchouli knowledge.
The gimmick here is you can get up to 8 power in order to command all these dolls, and you can execute one of the dolls in order to do a powerful bomb attack. Although the bomb itself is, I say powerful, it is weaker than all the other bombs, to account for the fact that you have double bomb capacity than you normally would. But it still does the thing of bullet deletion, although not full screen, and does quite a lot of damage as well. The worst gimmick of it, though, is the fact that when you enter focus mode, that's when you do your broad shots. Most weapons, when you enter focus mode, which allows you to move slowly, you also become more forward-focusing in your attacks, because, you know, that's useful for bosses, and you'll want to be moving carefully and slowly when you're fighting bosses. So this works kind of the exact opposite of how you'd want it to. So that's fun. Patchouli Knowledge, Formation Change Type. 5 different modes that your assist bullets can enter. If you press shoot and focus at the same time.
Patchouli knowledge.
As you can see, it goes from front-facing to diagonal to sideways to backwards, and then to forwards again. So this is something that if you have unbelievable coordination, you could take great advantage of. But for everyone else, this is a nightmare. Bomb does a 5 elements kind of deal here.
Yes.
The 4 elements that most of you are probably aware of, but also wood. Is that it?
Yes. Wood, water,
Earth, air, fire.
wood, water, metal, air, fire. You'd think I'm a practitioner of Taoist magic. Wood, fire, earth, metal, water. Which have correspondences and there's a cycle. But yeah, you could make it in a circle format like that.
So, Nitori Kawashiro. Remember her? She appeared in the last stream as
Kappa.
boss. The Kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Optical camouflage. Puts up a barrier for a fixed time. If you get hit while the barrier's up, all bullets on screen will disappear. If you don't get hit, some of it's refunded. In addition...
I'm optic camouflage! Incredible!
So once again, we'll...
Goes to the Shell fans in the chat tonight.
Yeah. Nitori's ability allows you to just shoot rockets at people. But the bomb here is actually really interesting, because I'm going to use a bomb now. You'll notice it did absolutely nothing, but as soon as I got hit, it deleted all the bullets. So what happens if we use the bomb and don't get hit? Which is a tall order, considering I'm playing on Lunatic. It lasts for a very long time. This allows you the ability to say, oh, I'm scared. And now that's worn off, I got some of that power, but not quite all of it, refunded. so you can use it as an emergency button, but provides you almost no invulnerability frames. Apart from just the initial explosion. And I think that's everything that we need to cover here. I would love to show you more of the extra stage, but I think I just need to face the facts. This extra stage is an absolute monster. If you would like to see it, look it up on the web, but there's an important detail that Reimu noted when she went up to the Moria Shrine. Apparently, the Yatagarasu said Kaneko is the reason for all of this. Kaneko Yasaka, the final boss of the previous game, or that we highlighted here, and the previous game chronologically too. Mainline.
Yes, the game's version of the Kami Yasakatome.
So, I don't know how much is explicitly stated versus kind of implied here versus you need to piece together from all the different conversations, but Kaneko was trying to buy the favor of the Kappa, because, you know, gathering faith and choosing the option of gathering faith from yokai instead of just humans, by helping them with their technological efforts. Because, I mean, in this game, we've got Kappa that do optical camo and create literal missiles, so they've got technology focus. And an endless source of nuclear power was the idea. So Kaneko set forth the things in motion to allow that bird to eat a Yatagarasu and gain the power of nuclear fusion for the sake of geothermal power, or nuclear-induced geothermal power for the sake of the favor of the Kappa. And so, this was a terrible idea, and thanks, Kaneko, for setting forth all the things that happened in this game.
Gods are sometimes fickle like that. They will, in fact, at times do things, well, for some of the same ridiculous reasons that humans do.
But yes.
Trying to blunt force an industrial revolution.
Yes, more or less. Conley Basher has it right in that was Kaneko's plan of just bringing the industrial revolution through the borders of Gensokyo by giving nuclear fusion power to the Kappa. You know, I never really realized that that these games are so linked together like that.
Sometimes Kami will just do things because it's funny. Well, to them.
This is Koichi Komeji's theme. I tried to make it eerie and have the aura of a broken girl. I think the eeriness is fitting for an extra boss. Actually, I think a garden with roses strewn all about where thorns can prick you is really fitting for a battle. But for some reason, it's the shrine this time.
Hello, Zoe. Welcome back. Sometimes you just have to do something for the bit. Yes, that's true. The gods must be crazy. Well, you know, given that so much of Yatagarasu's story in particular is from the Kojiki and Nihon Shoki, you know, those books are full of the gods doing incredibly ridiculous things. You know, Susanoo dropping a horse through the roof of his sister's palace comes to mind. But to be fair to him, he was grieving.
This is the last stage's theme. I tried to make it feel like an end-of-game song. Flying through lava is standard fare for shooting games. I guess if there's anything in particular I'm trying to say, it's that it's not unusual for shrine maidens to fly above lava like this. Crows, too. Okay, Zen. Thank you. Shrine maidens that fly over lava near the Earth's core is totally normal. Anyway, I think that might do it for today's stream. I'm going to do my usual shout out to Riverside Wings here. Riverside Wings is the account and name of Nyri here, my co-host for the series, for whom which this would not be remotely possible. And I fully encourage all of you viewers who enjoyed this to support her as well. And
Thank you.
as for the meanwhile, I'm going to see who to raid to, as per usual. Although, I will note, Games Done Quick, the charity marathon, is currently running. It is 24 hours, 24/7, for like a weekish, and it is people playing games very fast for charity, raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So, if all else fails, like if nothing else, I do highly recommend that you try checking out Games Done Quick. But for the meanwhile, I'm going to send us all over to Ompuko, who is playing some variant of Quake, but is trying to raise money for an overdraft issue, it sounds like. So,
Quake.
that does not look like Quake to me. Maybe it's a mod. In any case, to Ompuko, the wonderful Sergal and Ram that does tons of visual effect crimes on streams. Thank you all for joining me. To another place.
To another place.